Congressman Ronny Jackson here with us in studio. Listen, you've been to Canadian, you've been to Dumas, you've been to football games. Thank you for taking time, because I'm always calling your office. I'm like, please get Congressman Jackson here to News Channel 10. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great to be here.
Well, thank you. I want to start by, you're working hard for our district. We're District 13, and it's a big district. What can the people of the Panhandle look forward to, and tell us what you're doing to help our place, our district?
Well, currently my two committees, I'm on the Armed Services Committee, I'm on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I think the biggest impact I've had on the Armed Services Committee is I was able to secure a lot of additional funding, in particular for Pantex. We got an extra $35 million above and beyond the budget that was put out there for Pantex this year. Because of my service on the Armed Services Committee, I worked closely with the ranking member, and we were able to get that money, and that's going to go towards building some new facilities out there and repairing some of the older, outdated facilities. We've been working on that. We're working really aggressively with Bell Helicopter, trying to make sure that we get the new vertical lift, the Army's vertical lift contract, which will be huge for the area. That'll be a big contract that keeps Bell healthy for decades. And we've been working also on making sure that the current work they're doing with the V-22, that we have extra work ahead of their way for that. So we've been very successful on the armed services front with the defense industry here in the area. We've also, of course, helped out Shepherd Air Force Base out in the western or the eastern part of the district. So we've been pretty successful from the armed services standpoint. And we're, of course, working on ag issues constantly. I'm going to be on ag in January. That'll be one of my new committees. Looking forward to working on the Farm Bill, which is coming up in 23. So that's going to be huge.
So important for our area. Bell Helicopter, man, I feel like we're lucky to have Pantex, and we're lucky to have Bell Helicopter. And whenever you are representing that, you know, they're like, we got to listen to this guy. This is important. So tell us about, there's so many that are concerned with the border. It's a big deal. And even though we're up in the Panhandle, we've got 2.1 million people that have come across the border. I'm seeing a camera every Saturday night, Congressman, where I can see men in fatigues. This is not families coming over.
Right.
These are men, single men. And there's a lot of them. We can see those cameras. Is it what we think? Are they bringing fentanyl? Are they? It's dangerous.
It's an absolute disaster. The ones that you're seeing that are crossing the border on the camera, especially the night vision cameras at night and stuff, coming across in the fatigues, those are people that are crossing outside of the points of entry. Those are the people that are sneaking across that we refer to as gotaways, because we saw them on camera, but we never had any contact with them. Yeah, they're bringing drugs in. They're bringing weapons in. They're sneaking cartel members in. They're sneaking terrorists in. We've had over 100 people that are on the terror watch list that we've actually caught, and those are the ones that go out of their way not to be caught. We've caught 100 of them. Who knows how many terrorists have got into this country since the Biden administration changed all the policies and kind of opened up our southern border. That's going to come back to haunt us at some point in the future. That's setting us up for the next 9/11. And you know, honestly, we have 250,000 people just this month that crossed our border that we know about, that turned themselves over at the point of entry, that we're trying to process and, you know, and spending massive amounts of tax dollars trying to disposition these people. And we're like 2.7 that we know about, 2.7 million this year. You add another 2 million from last year. Since the Biden administration started, we've got well over 5 million people that we know about that have turned themselves over, that we've processed and brought into this country that are illegal. And that doesn't, like I said, reflect the number of gotaways, the people that we don't know about. And there's been at least 500,000 to 1 million of those that we know about. And there's a lot of people we just don't see on camera. We never catch them. So who knows? But the border is an absolute disaster right now. It's a national security issue for us. It's having a big impact on our economy right now. You know, there's things that we pay for as hardworking taxpayers with our schools and our roads and our hospitals. Those are all resources that are slowly but surely becoming non-available to tax-paying citizens because we have so many people coming in here falling on those resources that don't belong here. So we have to fix the border, obviously. I've been saying that. The Republicans have been saying that for a long time. The problem we have is the Biden administration, honestly, they just don't care. They're not making it a priority at all. You can see that Biden hasn't been down there a single time. Harris went to El Paso once just for a photo op. She's not been down to the border. She's supposed to be the border czar. You know, we have a Secretary of Homeland Security who keeps saying the border's secure, and it's obviously, we see every night on TV, it's not secure. So we have to have an administration that's going to start caring about this border.
Sure. Voting. People are starting to early vote. People, we have an election. I mean, do we have our voting under control? I mean, I think that people are very worried. Are they going to come out and vote? Are we, I mean, we've been through some craziness in the last 2 years, and I think that people are like, we've got some midterms coming up. Are we able to drop our ballot in and be secure in that we're able to vote for who we want to vote for?
Well, I hope we do a better job than we did last time. That's for sure. Last time was an absolute disaster, and I don't have a lot of confidence in what happened last time. As you know, I think we're doing a pretty good job here in the Panhandle in North Texas. I think that's not the issue. I think the issue are other places around the country right now. It's not really 5 states that can swing an entire, presidential election like last time. It's 5 big cities: Detroit and Philadelphia and Atlanta, places like that, Houston, where they're very big populous areas where there can be a certain level of fraud that changes the entire outcome for the state. So we have to be on guard for that. We have to get lots of poll watchers out. We have to overwhelm the polls so that there won't be an opportunity for any fraud or cheating. I think we're doing a better job on that. I'm a proponent of, in this entire country at some point or another, I think every state legislature should pass laws for paper ballots only. We just do paper ballots from now on. It's too important to worry about the electronic voting system and what's going on inside the machine and what happens to the votes after, when they're electronically counted. I want paper ballots that we can pick up, that we can take out of the boxes and recount if we need to, and we can see exactly how someone voted. I know that's a burden. I know, we live in a society where technology would say that we should be able to do it differently and do it efficiently and faster, which you can with electronic voting. But right now we don't have systems that we can trust. So hopefully we'll get to a point where we have paper ballots. And if we don't have paper ballots right now, just paper ballots, we should have a system where we have a backup, we have a paper trail. And so that's what I encourage. Even if you're going to use a machine to scan them, you should still have a paper copy that's put away somewhere, so if it calls into question, you can go back and recount those votes.
Lastly, you've got to give us some kind of inspiration. I'm spending a lot at the grocery store. My heating bill hasn't even come in yet. These are hard times for Americans, and I know people here in the Panhandle and in Texas, Congressman, we're strong.
Yeah.
We're brave, but you've got to give us some kind of inspiration. This can't last with high prices and people out there working hard, paycheck to paycheck. And it's my family. Yeah. It's people like me and Elvis and our kids. I mean, it's people that we're working, we're going every day, but why are we going to make it?
Well, I'll tell you, we'll have a little bit of a change when we get the House back in January. So this November, go out and vote for Republicans, so the Republicans can get the House of Representatives back, so that we have some check and balance. Because right now, the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House. And it all started with the kind of the supply chain issues that started it. It was compounded on day one of the Biden administration when President Joe Biden declared war on oil and gas, shut down pipelines, revoked leases, stopped all the incentives for new exploration, drilling, production, so on and so forth. That drove gas prices through the roof. And now, we've seen 2 years in this Democrat-controlled Congress of just reckless spending trillions and trillions of dollars of our tax dollars, and that's what's led to this inflationary cycle that we're in right now. So it's going to take a while to turn that around, but the process has to start with winning the House of Representatives back in January, and hopefully getting the Senate back as well. And then hopefully the Biden administration will realize that they have a presidential election that they coming up in 2024, and if they want to have any chance of competing in that, they're going to have to get some wins on the book. They're going to have to walk across the aisle and work with Republicans to get this country turned around and get our economy back on track, and basically, in my mind, to take our country back, because a lot of things have been taken from us. It's not just our economy, it's our personal freedoms, it's our safety and security. There's a lot of issues out there that must be fixed.
Last time you came, I said, "Are you going to run for vice president?" I asked you the last time.
Yeah, I remember.
And any word on that?
No plans to do anything other than be the congressman for the 13th Congressional District of Texas right now, to be the best congressman I can possibly be for the folks here, the fine folks in the Panhandle of North Texas.
All righty. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Stay with us. We're talking about a medication clean out. Jeannie is here.